hello.
No room!
Why, there's plenty of room. I'll just sit over here in this large armchair.
Have some wine?
But all I see is tea.
Wine is fine, but she sees tea. Say that 7 times fast.
No.
I don't see any wine.
That's because there isn't any.
It wasn't very civil of you to offer it.
Well, it wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited.
I didn't know it was your table. It's laid out for 20 or more, and there are only 3 of you at one end.
Your hair needs cutting.
Making personal remarks is considered very rude.
Rude?
That's what she said. Rude.
Yes, well then. Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Oh, a riddle? I love riddles. I believe I can guess that one.
Do you mean that you think you can find out the answer to it?
Exactly so.
Then you should say what you mean.
I do. At least I mean what I say. That's the same thing, you know.
No, it's not one bit the same thing. Well, you might just as well say that I see what I eat is the same thing as I eat what I see.
You might just as well say that I like what I get is the same thing as I get what I like.
You might as well just say that I breathe when I sleep is the same thing as I sleep when I breathe.
Well, it is the same thing with you. Where's my watch?
In the butter dish.
Ah. Oh, it still doesn't work.
Even after we've buttered it?
Quite. What day of the month is it?
It's the 4th.
2 days wrong. I told you that buttering my watch wouldn't suit the inner workings.
But it was the very best butter.
Yes, but it wasn't the very best butter knife.
Oh, dear.
Crumbs must have gotten into the gears.
Crumbs! That's a simple fix. Here, wash it in my cup of tea. How about now?
Nope. Still ticking. Still.
Still ticking still?
Not ticking! Who is she?
A non-ticking child, that's for sure.
Oh, what a funny watch. It tells the day of the month and doesn't tell what o'clock it is.
Well, why should it? Does your watch tell you what year it is?
Of course not. But that's because it stays the same year for such a long time.
Which is just the case with mine.
I don't quite understand you.
The dormouse is asleep again.
Poor thing. Put a little hot tea on its nose.
Oh, my, that won't be very nice at all. I wouldn't be... Oh.
Of course. Just what I was going to remark myself.
It didn't open his eyes a bit.
Non-ticking child, have you...
My name is Alice.
It's an Alice.
I see, yes.
Überdeutsch.
Well, non-ticking Alice, have you guessed the riddle yet?
No, I give up. What's the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Nor I.
I think you might do something better with the time than wasting it and asking riddles that have no answers.
But if you knew time as well as I do, you wouldn't talk about wasting it. It's him.
I don't know what you mean.
Of course you don't. I dare say you've never even spoken to time.
Perhaps not, but I know I have to beat time when I learn music.
Well, that accounts for it. He won't stand beating. Now, if you only kept on good terms with him, he'd do almost anything you liked with the clock.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, suppose it were 9 o'clock in the morning, just time to begin lessons. You'd only have to whisper into time, and round goes the clock in a twinkling. 1:30, time for dinner.
I only wish it were.
Oh, that would be grand, certainly, but then I shouldn't be hungry for it, you know.
Well, not at first, perhaps, but you could keep it to 1:30 as long as you liked.
Is that the way you manage?
Not I. You see, Time and I quarreled last March, just before he went mad.
Hey, don't point that teaspoon at me.
No, dear, forgive me. How about a sugar spoon?
Much better, thank you.
Where was I? Oh, yes. It was at the great concert given by the Queen of Hearts, and I had to sing.
I remember.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder where you're at. You know the song, perhaps?
I've heard something like it.
Well, there's more. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little
Twinkle, 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 twinkle.
Now you got him started.
Well, a pinch should stop that.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Exactly. Well, I'd hardly finished the first verse when the queen bawled out, "He's murdering time! Off with his head!"
How dreadfully savage.
And ever since, time won't do a thing I ask. It's always tea time.
Is that the reason so many tea things are put out here?
Yes, that's it.
Tea time, tea time, tea time, tea time. Tea
Pinch!
Pinch, give me pinch.
Oh, pinch time!
Oh, tea.
It's always tea time, and we've no time to wash the things between whiles.
Oh, so the huge table laid out for 20 or more is for you, I suppose.
Is that why?
Yes, that's why.
Exactly so.
We move as things get used up.
But what happens when you come back to the beginning again?
Well, suppose we begin again without your rudeness.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I second that.
Let's change the subject. I vote the young lady tell us a story.
Yes.
I'm afraid I don't know one.
The
The doorbell
Little
shall
Sal.
wake
up
the
the doorbell.
doorbell.
I wasn't asleep. I heard every word you both were saying.
Tell us a story.
Yes, please do.
And be quick about it, or you'll be asleep again before it's done.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little sisters.
Oh, yeah.
And their names were Elsie, Lacey,
Yeah.
and Tilly. And they lived at the bottom of a well.
Oh, what did they live on?
Treacle. They lived on treacle.
Treacle? They'd have been ill.
So they were. Very ill.
But why do they live at the bottom of a well?
It takes some more tea to quell the questions.
But I've had nothing yet, so how can I take more?
You mean you can't take less? It's very easy to take more than nothing.
And nobody asked your opinion.
Who is making personal remarks now?
I'll just have some butter and bread instead, thank you very much. Still, why do they live at the bottom of a well?
It was a treacle well.
Oh, there's no such thing.
If you can't be civil, you'd better finish the story yourself.
Oh, no, please go on. I won't interrupt you again. I dare say there may be one.
One indeed. Anyhow, these 3 little sisters were learning to draw, you know.
What did they draw?
She's interrupting.
Treacle.
I want a clean cup. Let's all move one place.
Clean cup!
Clean cup! Oh, no, I don't like this, eh? This is going to.
I don't understand.
This is better for me. All right. I'm ready.
Yes, much better.
But I don't understand. Where did they draw the treacle from?
Well, you draw water out of a water well, so I think you could draw treacle out of a treacle well, eh, silly?
But they were in the well.
Of course they were. Well in.
Well, then. Oh, don't mind if I do.
Oh, this is so confusing.
They were learning to draw. And they drew all manner of things. Everything that begins with an M.
Why with an M?
More questions. Why not?
Yes, why not? Right, Mouse?
Oh, dear.
See what your incessant interrogatives have induced, you un-TikTok child? Pinch!
That begins with an M, such as mouse traps, and the moon, and memory, and muchness, and sayings like much of her muchness, as well as drawing of muchness.
Really? Now I don't think that that's...
Well, then you shouldn't talk, you un-TikTok child.
I will talk, on TikTok or not. And I will talk about leaving this mad tea party at once.
No. Well, so be it.
So be it.
Yes.
Who was she?
Muchness of madness.